Greetings, rise and shine, brethren. We are the World Global Reset Restoration Network family, comprised of 198 sovereign nations with over 7 billion sovereign principles, being of one mind, one heart, and one spirit, walking together under the divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I come to you as a voice in the wilderness to introduce to you a man. No, not just any man, but a man sent by Yah Allah to redeem mankind. Dr. I.L. Henderson, the Adak Chief Justice of the Universal World Court, and who's also known as Yehoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man. The information that you will be receiving in this and other videos you won't get from anywhere else on the planet. Hear the many truths and fulfillment of the laws, judgments, and sentencings from our Creator, Father Yah, as well as the fulfillment of the true interpretation of the Holy Scriptures and books. Now, without further ado, Dr. I.L. Henderson with his beloved host, Shelley Bowling.
The transparency that is continuing to come out regarding the political system, your elections, if you want to call them still elections. You're talking about something that no longer exists. The U.S. corporation no longer exists. But just recently, in Philadelphia, a Democratic election judge pled guilty for accepting bribes, for casting fake or fraudulent ballots and certifying them in primary election results. So now he has come out and has admitted that he has been perpetrating fraud against the people in the elections. In the next few months, the so-called United States is going to have another so-called election. You have heard Yehoshua say that it matters not to him who wins that election, because, family, whoever wins that election makes no difference to anyone else on the planet. Because our brothers and sisters in the 198 nations know that it is a fraudulent system and that there is no treaty in place for that entity known as the U.S. corporation. The treaty that is in place are for our true indigenous brothers and sisters of this land, where that U.S. Corp group were the ones that came in and stole the land from them. Now that land is going back to the true people of this land before that U.S. Corp ever showed up. We have the establishment of the ecclesiastical law, common law, and international law, and that is in all 198 nations. So it doesn't matter, family, one way or the other, what you're dealing with Father Yah's laws are being implemented on this land under the direction of his son, Yehoshua Mashiach.
Right now, many of the special reports that have gone out to all of the states is a report based upon thousands of U.S. judges who have broken the law, and which has been told that the oaths in which they took while they were on the bench, that all of them are in violation of it. And I know many of people, in the past, people have brought me complaints. They have brought me reports of this. I was explaining to the people at that time, this is something that we've known for a long time now. And believe it or not, those judges have already been placed in under the law where they were to be held accountable. But too many of you, and I have to say this to you so you understand what's happening. I don't know if y'all are going out to vote because you truly believe that someone died, that you might have the right to vote. I don't even know if you're going out to vote because you believe yourself might somehow die if you don't vote. But I need you to understand something. If you're not paying attention to that voter's card in which you are voting on, you are doing more harm to yourself than any good that you could do for you or anybody else on the planet. The reason why. You vote every 4 years, you're voting. Have you ever noticed that on your voter's card that you're also voting for various districts that are in your nation and in your state? You're voting for federal judges. You're voting for district judges. You're voting for city councilors. You're voting for community leaders because they're on that card. And you're voting for them. Every time the world law, the world court, the international courts, every time we put one of the judges on investigation and prepare ourselves to get him off the bench, by the time we prepare to get him off the bench and do all of that in which we know to do to enforce what you're complaining about, you would have already voted to keep him on the bench. Does that make any sense to you at all? You keep putting back the exact same people that are punishing you unfairly. You keep putting them right back on the bench. The judges in Alabama, the judges in Mississippi, the judges in Louisiana. We understand many of them, they're racist. But you're the one that keeps going out voting for the Democrats. You're the one that keeps going out voting for the Republicans. You're the one that keeps voting for some party that they're a part of, and that puts them back on the bench. Stay with me. I'm educating you so you will stop it. So what? You haven't got a ticket yet. You haven't had to go to the courts yet to pay a ticket. So what? You haven't found yourself being accused of murder yet, so you don't have to go to the courts. So what? You haven't been classified to be a deadbeat father and have to pay support and went to the court system yet. So what? You need to realize that when you vote and when you place your name on that ballot, you're voting to put those judges right back on the bench that are ones that are unfairly targeting you. You put them right back on there. Everybody remember Judge Joe Brown. Come on, Americans. This is your call. Welcome to the call. You don't recognize and remember Judge Joe Brown during his heydays of TV. You know, now he's speaking out. Much so. Do you understand that he is no longer working as a judge on the circuit? You understand that he is no longer on television. Not because he became any less knowledgeable, not because he became any less fair. It's because they recognized that he was not playing on the same team that they were playing on. And he was a fair judge. No, come on, black folks. He didn't sell you out. For the matter of fact, he was the last judge that judged the case of Martin Luther King based upon James Earl Ray. He also was the judge that told them, according to what they had as evidence, James Earl Ray could not have been the murderer of Dr. King. And everybody all of a sudden began to start speaking out against Judge Joe Brown. Because they realized that he was not one that was willing to play the game, and especially those politician games, of allowing himself to even jeopardize what he had with a true God of the universe by way of allowing himself to follow a lie which should have long been put to rest. He refused to do it. The judges that you see being destroyed are those that are no longer want to play the game. They no longer want to find themselves judging people unjustly, knowing that they will be held accountable at some point in time. They deem it to be more important for them not to be held accountable by God than by man. And they begin now to speak out against it. And because of that, yes, they are under attack now. But you the people, we the people, because you give me a representation that I myself would not put myself in that position. Why? Because they classify me as being part of the majority of the people, not the minority of the people. Once the vote goes out, even though I don't vote, my name is going to be held accountable based upon the fact they're going to say, well, the majority of the people voted you in. The majority of the people put them there. No, we did not. It was the few of you that had no true knowledge of what you were doing. And as we tell you, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, you go right ahead and keep talking like that. Because that's exactly what they're filling your head with, this so-called conspiracy theory, knowing that you cannot put those two words together and get any truth or any true understanding out of it. Because you cannot have a theory and a conspiracy together. You either got one or the other. You either got a theory or you got a conspiracy. And based upon that, United States, you have to come to realization that you're either going to be one that's going to vote for your own demise, or you're not going to vote for your own demise. And you keep voting to put those would-be so-called appointed judges back in the seat. Who are they appointed by? They're appointed by those councilmen and those would-be mayors and those would-be city councilmen in which you yourself vote in. That's who appoints them. That's why they're appointed judges. They're appointed by the people in whom you're voted for. And you have to explain to yourself how the people that you voted for can be for you. How can they have your interest as any would-be concerned when they are appointing people that are destroying you? Ask yourself the question. No one died for you to vote. Stop it. Melanated people, get it out of your community. No one died so you could vote. No one did that. Many of the people that died was because they were not voting and they were commanded by their masters to go and vote. And when they go and vote for this person here. And they refused to do it. And that's what they died for. They died for disobeying their master, not to vote. Many of the melanated people in this deep South was hung. They was hung only because they were classifying themselves to be of a certain party. And the Democrats themselves did not like that because they were a new party. And they began to lynch those people. So it was said that by the time the smoke would clear in North Carolina, that a whole democracy of Democratic parties would have been destroyed in North Carolina in one night. So the democracy was destroyed based upon the fact that those men that had staged the would-be so-called system whereby they pretended to be Republicans went in and killed all of the other Democrats that they might be able to take over the Democratic Party and be able to run it the way they would based upon them being masters over the melanated people in whom they were trying to put fear in to make them vote for a certain individual. Let this story be told properly so you can be able to move forward. The only way you're going to be able to heal is with the truth. The United States of America is one of those nations right now where all the nations are looking to you, no more as an example of what to do or how to do it, or will it even be successful. They're looking at you as a failure because they know that you have already failed. They know that you're doomed. They're looking at you now because they understand you to be that world that is known as Babylon. They know that you would rather die for $1 than give your life for any would-be serious, real purpose. They know now that all they got to do is pass your stimulus check and you will refuse everything else that is coming to you. Many of you right now would bypass going first to test the vaccine to see if it will work for coronavirus. You will bypass that just to receive your stimulus check. You would sell your vaccine for a stimulus check. You would sell your vaccine right now. They already know who you are. That's why they keep bringing you down to what they call voting booths and so-called voting polls. They're bringing you down there because they know that you will sell your soul for $1. And they keep placing men in what they deem to be some White House that's going to give you some would-be so-called freedom. So at least be able to go out and work 8 hours hard, 8 hours a day, and get paid for it. They know that you're just that gullible. They know that they can wash your face with that every day, and you will even deem yourself to have a clean face after. Yes, many of you will go down to the voting polls looking to put one more man into the White House that will give you nothing more than promises of even being able to put money in your pockets when he himself is afraid of the coronavirus. He's afraid. He's 70 plus years old right now. He's in the category of those that they say are very vulnerable to what's going on. Not only that, he has medical conditions. He's very much one of those in whom are very vulnerable to the coronavirus. So he's going to kind of stick close to his doctor friends, believing that they're going to be able to save him at the last minute, the last second. He believes that they're going to be able to give him a vaccine that's going to save him. He's willing to take a chance right now to get all of your votes just so he can go in the White House for 4 years, that he'll at least be around the best doctors in the world. He'll be around the best scientists in the world. He'll be able to go into any nation that he could go into, that he wants to and desires, to be able to see if they can help him in his corona would-be situation. But you, he's not concerned about you. But so, that the United States of America, once again, is a nation whereby it has set itself looking for leaders, needing leaders, but at the same time accepting the wrong leaders. And even believing for themselves, as you have just said, they believe they have chosen for themselves a leader by way of voting. See, during the biblical days, there was no voting. It was mostly where they did what they classified as cast lots. And whomever the lot fell on, that was the person that they would deem to be the leader. Knowing these lots was not by numbers. The lot in which they were classifying it was that in which was a spiritual lot, which as the lots would fall upon the people or the person, it will fall upon them in a spiritual manner where they will be led to do nothing more than a righteous thing rather than to do the unrighteous thing in which they themselves would never have been found worthy. And believe it or not, the U.S. of A. right now, if we might deem it to be such, is still trying to find a worthy leader, one worthy leader. One that will be worthy of the people's respect, the people's honor. And at the same time, right now, I find it very, I would say, disrespectful. For one to be even texting or writing me an email or even trying to somehow convey to me that they are voters when they have deemed themselves once upon a time to be of a Moorish nation. So I have to question them. What is their true motive? Are you truly one that believes that mankind must uplift fallen humanity? Do you truly believe in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? Do you believe in being of one mind, one heart, and one spirit? Or are you just one who is pretending until you believe that you will be able to receive that in which you deem yourself to deserve? The reason I'm asking this question is because now I'm getting so much would-be information and at the same time correspondence. The correspondence in which I'm receiving is coming from those that are sending me messages entitled that I am still voting and I must make sure that I get at least the people to a point where they will be able to at least have someone that will look out for their welfare. Let me help you out. If you're voting to get that done, you're wasting the people's time and your time, because it's not going to happen. While you are finding the time to be able to write me messages based upon your voting for government, let me help you out. Let it be the one in whom you seem to be talking to me in reference to making sure you put him in the White House. I would tell you to go ahead and put him there. It doesn't matter to me. Joe Biden will be one in whom you would deem to be your president, but he himself knows that he will have no place in the righteous world of what is known as Yah Allah, God of the universe. He has no righteous place there. While you're trying to entice me with your would-be, your entertainment of talking to me about the ones in whom you deem are going to be the people to save the neighborhood or to save the people. And I know you have even spoken, and you know who I'm talking to right now because you have written me numerous of times. You've spoken to me numerous of times on this would-be particular subject. You believe that Kamala Harris is going to be a real good vice president. Let me help you out. She won't make it. Due to the fact that right now you have to understand that Joe Biden has already made up a plan for you and for your people. And he has spoken out loud now and has been just as early as today being heard saying to one known as nothing more than a radio disc jockey who I do see in favor I do believe that he did the right thing to ask the question. But Joe Biden has made it perfectly clear. He has said that if you are trying to figure out whether you should vote for him or Trump, and you are in the skin color that you're in, he says that you're still not black. He don't classify you as being of the Moorish nation. He don't classify you as being black. He don't classify you as being your own national would-be citizen based upon sovereignty. No, he would be better yet to be nothing more than one of your neighborhood police officers that would just crash in your door just because he believes he has the right to do so and that the law is behind him. But on any given true day, that would not be happening based upon the fact that he's one of those burning fight type of would-be police officer that's really chicken. But because he has a weapon and all of the would-be white neighborhood or what he deems to be the authority behind him in the law, he will do it and feel bold while doing it. Joe Biden has made it perfectly clear now, and this is not for anyone's would-be reference to whether you want to go politicians or deal with the politics of life. But I need you to understand that you have already chosen your own poison. Those of you that have deemed yourself to be Republicans or Democrats, you have chosen your own poison. And it's men like Joe Biden who believe that he has already conquered the black neighborhood based upon the fact that he has a friend that he can say is black. He would say, my closest friend is black. His name is Barack Obama. And because of that, he believes that he has already obtained your vote. He has already placed your vote in his would-be hat, in which he don't even have to pull a number out of it, because he knows that you are going to vote for him. You've already given him your approval. You've already put him in the White House. Excuse me, because I know his conversation when sitting around his would-be, his friend, his real friend, not his black friends, but his cool cats from the country friends. When he's saying the niggas, I already have their vote. All of them. They've already now, but just put me in the White House, so all I got to do now is sit back and relax. That's what he's actually saying when he says that if you're not voting for him and you're voting for Donald Trump, he says you're not black. That's what he means. He's saying that you're not nigger enough to vote for him. That's what he's saying. Yes, he believes that because he has went down to South Carolina and been able to fool what he would say a few of those that he deemed to be South Kakalackians, who does nothing more than eat rice, and they don't even use sticks. They use their hands. He deems that he has been able to put you in a position right now where he has been slick Joe to pull you into his would-be camp, where your vote now can be securely counted beyond any reasonable doubt, because he believes he has been able to fool you while you still have that handkerchief tied around your head so tight that your brain has not yet been able to function properly. He believes that he has you captured. Let us move on. Because I know you've already made up your mind. You've already made up your mind to vote for Joe Biden just because he was a friend of Barack Obama. But you have to understand, Barack Obama did nothing for the black community. Nothing. He did everything for the community that he came from. What he did for them is he did exactly like the Jed Clampett whole clan did. He packed up his would-be little truck and he moved to Beverly Hills himself. And he left you in the community by yourself, so you no longer have to see him running down to his swimming pool to take a dip, just that he might carry a would-be bar of soap where he would be able to wash himself. So he moved on from that. He's strictly now in the world of where he deemed himself to always be, in a white world, whitewashed, where you cannot get the likes of anyone to even allow you to be able to visit them in their house unless they have you drinking from a second fountain, and which does not read with the words on it for the elite.